5 News This Morning starts now.
A trial is underway for a man accused of a deadly hit and run. Ahead, we'll have the latest on the testimony in the courtroom.
And rain chances continue through this week, especially Thursday and Friday, where we could see maybe up to an inch and a half, maybe closer to 2 inches in some area. We'll talk more about it coming up.
And President Trump is promising tough action on crime and drug trafficking. Coming up, details on the new authorization to send a federal task force to Memphis.
And a live look in Poto this morning. A beautiful sunrise. If you haven't stepped out there to see it yet, it's a gorgeous Tuesday. It's 6:30. Thanks for waking up with us. Tuesday, and fall is just around the corner. On the 22nd is the 16th right now. So a few more days, but feeling like summer still.
Yeah, feeling like summer still, and it's still going to kind of feel like summer as we start off fall, but it's not going to be as hot as we are today and tomorrow. Temperatures are expected to be in the 90s once again. Show you what's going on outside right now. Here's another live look in Rogers. 68 degrees. Dew point is 66. Again, that higher humidity, or I should say the higher dew point, is making things feel warmer out there. Again, that normal low temperature this time of year is about 56, or it should be in Rogers and across northwest Arkansas, and you can see it's about 10 degrees above that across the region. Otherwise, in the River Valley, we're seeing upper 60s and a couple of low 70s, especially in the Fort Smith and Ozark area there. So again, a lot warmer than we should be this time of year, and it's going to continue to be warm as we head throughout the rest of our day today and tomorrow. So you're heading up to the bus stop, 60s for temperatures, seeing a mostly sunny sky. Are going to see maybe some low 70s in the Fort Smith area by recess, where lunchtime will be in the 80s, maybe close to 90, feeling like the low 90s with that humidity. And then heading home, we'll see maybe an isolated storm with hot conditions, those temperatures in the 90s. So as we head through the next couple of days, it is going to be hot and humid. We'll keep the humidity as we head towards the rest of the week, but we're going to get slightly cooler. And while there'll be pop-up storms for us this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, they'll be a little bit more widespread starting on Thursday. So we'll talk more about that, get you ready for the rest of the week coming up in your full forecast. For now, let's take a live look at traffic on this Tuesday morning. Take a live look in the Fayetteville area along I-49 at Technology Way. Good morning to you there. Traffic picking up this morning. So far, so good. Again, weather shouldn't be too much of a concern this morning, but later this afternoon could see some of those pop-up storms, and we'll talk more about it coming up in about 15 minutes. Joe and Jake.
All right, thank you, Danny. Well, Memphis may soon see federal boots on the ground.
President Trump made official his plan to deploy a crime-fighting task force to the city. Bradley Blackburn has more.
In the Oval Office Monday, President Trump formally approved a plan to send a federal task force to Memphis. Flanked by Tennessee's governor, the president promised similar action to what's happened on the streets of the nation's capital.
The task force will be a replica, as I said, and it's going to be, I think, equally successful. This is a tremendous success we've had in Washington.
FBI statistics show Memphis had the highest crime of all major U.S. cities last year. But Memphis police data shows there was a decrease in violent crime in the first 9 months of this year. There's no timeline yet for when the force will be deployed. The city's mayor is opposed to the plan.
I did not ask for the National Guard, and I don't think it's the way to drive down crime.
The president announced more tough action on drug trafficking, confirming a second strike similar to the recent U.S. military attack on a Venezuelan boat in the Caribbean. The president said 3 more, quote, narco-terrorists were killed in this separate strike on another boat, allegedly carrying more drugs. The president says the tactic is deterring traffickers.
There are literally no boats. This was a boat, and we were surprised to see it. Now, what does that mean? That means there's no drugs coming by sea.
The Trump administration is also making moves on TikTok.
We have a framework for a TikTok deal.
Announcing a preliminary agreement to allow the Chinese-owned social media site to continue operating with concessions for U.S. national security. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, today, President Trump heads to England, where he will be hosted by King Charles for an historic second state visit. Major ceremonies, including a royal carriage ride and banquet.
Well, Tyler Robinson, the suspect accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk, could make his first court appearance as soon as today. The FBI director said that Robinson's family told investigators he subscribed to left-wing ideology. They also said the DNA was found on a screwdriver near the crime scene, and a towel wrapped around the alleged murder weapon has been linked to the suspect.
He had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk.
A spokesperson for Discord and 2 law enforcement sources confirmed to CBS News an account that appears to belong to the suspect claimed responsibility for the shooting. The messages were first reported by the Washington Post, though Discord has said it hasn't found any evidence that the suspect planned Kirk's assassination on the chat platform. Continuing coverage on a case out of Benton County. A teenage boy was hit and killed while riding a motorbike last year. And Gregory Payne's trial began this week, but he is no longer charged with negligent homicide. That charge was dropped. 14-year-old Gavin Bivens was killed on July 27th of last year. His mom, Amanda, told the jury that Gavin and his friends often rode motorbikes on the road where he was hit. Witnesses told police Payne smelled of alcohol and had liquor bottles in his vehicle. Payne is also accused of leaving the scene, and prosecutors say he was driving on a suspended license.
Honduran national Fredis Amilcar Giza Hernandez pleaded guilty to a federal drug charge. Investigators say the 34-year-old had possession of at least 500 grams of a mixture containing cocaine and was intending on distributing it. The investigation was sparked by the Sequoia County Sheriff's Office, Homeland Security, and ICE last October. Hernandez faces 5 to 40 years in prison and a $5 million fine. Changes could be coming to utility bills in Taneytown. Tonight, the City Council is expected to vote on a proposed sewer rate increase that could take effect as early as this Thursday. A proposed ordinance states that the rate increase will adequately finance the city's sewer system. Residents will have a chance to speak before the vote. Now, documents from the agenda show that residential buildings inside the city could see an increase of just over $1 per 1,000 gallons. That number increasing to just over $2 for commercial buildings and an over $3 increase per 1,000 gallons for industrial buildings. Tonight's meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Taneytown City Hall.
Well, new social studies standards for Oklahoma schools are put on pause, at least for now.
On Monday, the state Supreme Court ruled that the new standards should not play out until a lawsuit over the new standards wraps up. State Superintendent Ryan Walters introduced the new standards this year. 33 Oklahomans are part of a lawsuit claiming the new social studies standards promote Christianity to students. Monday's state Supreme Court ruling means standards from 2019 will stay in place, and the state cannot spend any state funds on the new standards.
In other news, the folk music school in Fayetteville was facing an uncertain future. That is until Winslow-based nonprofit Ozark Folkways stepped in to keep the music playing. The two-story red brick home on Center Street was built in 1845, making it one of the few pre-Civil War homes still in Fayetteville. Since 2023, it's been home to the Folk School of Fayetteville. But with the school's founders planning to leave the country, a new nonprofit is set to take over.
We are still keeping our location in Winslow, and we're really excited about having that rural-urban partnership. So sort of hooking people wherever is accessible to them, and then using our two spaces to commingle people and culture.
If the Fayetteville Advertising and Promotions Commission finalizes the lease next Monday, Ozark Folkways says classes and concerts could start again on October 1st.
And Arkansas Governor Sarah Sanders sent letters to leaders of the Republican and Democratic parties beginning the process of filling the state legislature vacancy left by the passing of Gary Stubblefield. In the letter, the governor requested the parties decide if they'll hold a special primary election or hold a convention of delegates. Both sides were asked to notify the governor's office within 10 days of their decision. Mark Berry and Brad Simon have both announced their plans to seek the Republican Party's nomination. Berry is a retired member of the Armed Forces who also served 2 terms in the Arkansas House and says his top focus will be safety and security for Arkansas communities. Simon is a small business owner from Paris who says he would oppose the construction of a prison in Charleston if elected.
And new this morning, Fayetteville Mayor Molly Ron has announced the city's first chief housing officer. Marley Stark will also lead the Department of Housing and Community Services. She'll focus on initiatives to address the housing needs through offering tools and resources. Stark is a Fayetteville native who began serving as the city's economic vitality manager in 2023.